Hello, and today we're addressing a very popular and controversial issue, which is facial fat loss due to radiofrequency microneedling devices, things like Morpheus 8. Before you get a cosmetic procedure, it's best to know the good, the bad, the ugly, so let's get into it. Some cosmetic procedures are very low risk. Regular microneedling comes to mind, meaning that even if you have a provider who doesn't have much experience, nothing's going to go terribly wrong. On the other hand, there are some cosmetic procedures that you can easily mess up and it can cause damage to the skin, even permanently. One of the complications we worry about with RF microneedling is facial fat loss. This is due to the heat of the needles going down into the fat and melting those fat cells away. And once the fat cells are gone. They're gone. They're not going to come back. And how could this happen? There's a lot of factors. Some of them depend on your provider, some of them depend upon the quality of your skin. So, for example, when you get RF microneedling, your provider is the one deciding how deep the needle should be. Sometimes it's more superficial, and other times it can be too deep and it can be in the fat, which is where we don't want it. Another factor that can lead to fat loss is the type of energy. Sometimes the energy we use is really intense and precise, and other times the energy we use is very wide and general. And sometimes that wide general energy is so big it can go down into the fat. Another factor that depends on your provider is the pulse duration, meaning how long is the heat applied. The heat can be applied for just a tenth of a second, or it can be applied for up to 4 seconds. And the longer it's applied, the more likely it is to seep into the fat. A factor that's dependent on the patient themselves is the skin thickness. Some people, through no fault of their own, they just have very thin skin, and sometimes it's hard to tell where the needle is within the skin. So we might think we're in the dermis, but in actuality, the tip of the needle is down into the fat. That's why for radiofrequency microneedling in particular, I would especially go to a provider with a lot of experience because, as you can see, there's a lot of things that can go wrong.